We went public in May of 2013. Had good IPO, performed really well. We were pretty high flying. Company was performing well. Stock price was good, performed up and stuff. About 3 weeks, I guess, after the IPO, out of nowhere, the news broke that Salesforce that Mark had bought ExactTarget to become the marketing cloud, which wasn't that much of a threat. We'd been partners with ExactTarget before, and sort of that was fine. But ExactTarget had just also bought one of our competitors, Pardot, kind of low end competitor, but probably the best of the lower end competitors, or best in beside HubSpot, depending on how you would evaluate it. And so they were very high on competing with Marketo with this Pardot acquisition as well. And so, it's not really very fun to have 3 weeks in the market as a public company. And Salesforce was a critically important partner at that time. We were the single biggest partner in App Exchange in terms of, the money we would spend to show as the biggest booth on their floor. And we were moving the most business through their App Exchange partnership as any one of their partnerships. And while it was always a not very happy relationship, it was a critically important relationship because our technical integration between the two products was essential to customer success. And so, wow, investors didn't much like the idea of Salesforce buying our biggest competitor, and they were coming right at us, flying. And that wasn't very fun either, and was pretty scary. And then I, was obviously then being asked to do some interviews, and all the press wanted to talk to me about, what's this mean for Marketo? And I started to mouth off a little bit about that. Next thing I knew was that Mark decided that it was time to shut down the interface between Marketo and Salesforce, which is like turning Marketo off, effectively in some sense, if you knew the product. And that was, that's a near death experience when, your biggest partner buys a major competitor, declares war, and then shuts you down, right? And well, we talked about customers earlier, and the success here, the solution turned out to be just the same, which was like, Mark, you didn't just shut Marketo down, you just shut Marketo's, 1,500 customers down, and General Electric, who just did a $50 million license with you at the time, GE had just done Mark's biggest sale, was one of Marketo's biggest customers. And was like, are you sure you really want to shut Beth Comstock down? Because she's not going to like that very well. She was the CMO at GE at the time. And boy, we just hit that drum for about 2 days and done, was back, it was running. And it just, while Mark's the fiercest competitor I've ever competed against, well, except maybe Larry, the fact that we again made it about the customer, and the fact that it was, you can do this to us, but you can't do it to your customers, won the day. And then it was right back to the game of not talking about them, but talking about us. And, I'll be damned, it just didn't hurt. It just didn't
Wow.
hurt. We didn't miss it. We didn't miss a quarter. We didn't miss a beat. We put our numbers on the board. We made the quarter where that happened. And the ability to and that for me was one of, my company was freaking out. Everybody's freaking out. I was freaking out. Couldn't show it. And I think that was just the ability, number one, to recover, to get back on track for the customers, and then just stay level and just be zen and just, you just don't get off your game. Don't go chasing into something different. Just relax and just keep doing what's working. Was extremely hard to find the depth of just to just keep doing that. Near death experience worked out fine.